Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just diving into Bitcoin right now. You can see that we've been targeting. We had this broadening channel here. We were falling down in it, and we've actually broken out, which is really positive. Okay, and we are targeting these Fibonacci retracement levels here. You can see we hovered around the 0.618, got through it, and then we've actually had that big bullish upsurge there to up towards the 0.786. We broke out of this descending triangle, and we are looking to march on to our target right now. Okay, which is really good. Bitcoin looks really bullish. But what I do want to bring you to attention, okay, is this thing I'm going to show you in a moment. Okay, we do have our targets up there, as you know, 63k, which is off that previous high there, and then also, we do have this local target that we're getting out of this descending triangle, and also the broadening channel there. So it's all confluence that potentially we could get there. And at the moment, we do seem to be forming a bit of basically a bull pennant type structure there. It was looking like a bit of a bull flag actually, and it's broken up, but it's been a little bit extinguished. This is a 4-hourly time frame, so it's beginning to look more of a bull pennant perhaps. So basically, it's just sort of something like this. So an elongated bull pennant type. Yeah, it is probably a bull flag more than a bull pennant. And you do have your target. So your target is from there to there, like this, and what you do wherever you break out of your bull flag there, you can see it's hit a level of resistance there, and it's actually fell and bounced back off the 0.786, which is 57.95. So potentially, if you see a breakout, you could go long on Bitcoin, and you will be looking at that target right up there, okay, for Bitcoin, which is really good. So let's bring that down so you can see. So that's 60k. So from there, if that was to break out, you will be looking at appreciation on Bitcoin of around 3%, yeah, 3-4%. So that's really good. So, and then obviously, since we broke out of here, we did have our ultimate target back up to this top when we broke out of this channel here. That was an 8% trade on Bitcoin. So for those of you who took that trade, that's awesome. Okay, so getting on with that, you could equally see us break down, but do target this. We're looking really bullish. Okay, we've got the bullish cross on the 4-hourly. The MACD is looking healthy. The RSI is relatively healthy, but we do have a massive signal. Okay, we do have a bit of a bearish signal on the daily time frame. So I'm going to jump into that right now and show you. Right, so Bitcoin on the daily. We'll switch to the daily time frame here. Okay, and as you know, in the RSI here, you form something called divergences. Okay, so at the moment, you see, I'll squeeze this down a little bit like this. Let's see better. So ever since we made this high here, okay, we've been making higher highs on the grand scheme of things. High, higher high, and then another higher high, okay? So we're progressively going up. But then in the RSI, okay, we've actually made a high, a lower high, and then another lower high. Okay, and that is actually a divergence, okay? And also, what you need to do, there's a famous guy called Balowski, okay? And I'll drop a link to him in the description of the video. But he basically says if an RSI, if you start printing RSI divergences less than a 2-month scale, which this one is, then it's confirmed that it's a bearish divergence, because sometimes these divergences don't actually play out. So sometimes these divergences don't actually play out, and on a daily time frame, you can see that the distance between that and that was 21 days, okay, and then you can see that the divergence is getting shorter, okay, and that particular level there was 45. So this qualifies for a divergence that's less than 2 months old, and that one does as well, to be fair. So these are telling us that we're expecting to see some kind of rollover, okay. I think potentially what we might be looking at is one last pump for Bitcoin, okay, potentially getting us up to the previous high, if not making a new high, okay, hitting that divergence there, probably pushing up, okay, hitting that top at roughly, to the top end of 60k, rolling over, and then having that big correction. Okay, so potentially what you're looking in the RSI, if Bitcoin was to continue now, form that bullish pennant there and break out and move on and take that high, you're looking at a top end of 60k, okay, before it hits a high and then rolls over, and the RSI will look something like this, and then you'll start to see a larger correction, because we are coming up to some really important levels on the pi indicator chart, okay, and you want to take a look at that. We are looking like we're about to cross over, and that is a very big signal for the end of a bull cycle. This could be potentially a 2-part bull cycle, just like the 2013 to 14 bull bull cycle, okay? It was a 2-part bull cycle, so we are potentially looking at that. And I am seeing other signals as well as confluence, all right? I don't want to be bearish, you know, I'm fully bullish on Bitcoin, but this is telling me that we are looking at a potential cool down. You can't ignore this, okay? This RSI divergence, like I said to you, Belowski, he said that if you start to form the peaks of the RSI in under 2 months, then, you know, it's some really high statistic that you do see the bearish scenario play out, the reversal in the market. So personally, while I think, you know, potentially the next high is the top in this particular cycle, that will actually meet that criteria on the pi cycle chart, where you get that crossover of the levels there that indicate a reversal in the market. So you'll top out on a lot of charts, okay, and then you'll sort of come down. You'll probably potentially see that bigger correction, okay, because don't forget, we are in a kind of rising wedge type pattern here, okay? We are in some kind of rising wedge, and that is actually a bearish pattern itself. And I do believe that when we do come down, you potentially looking, you know, at worst down here, I think from, you know, from the way I analyze rising wedges, you are looking at that sort of level there. You would be looking at that for Bitcoin potentially, okay, you know, it's not a definite. And, you know, from that top there, and this did happen in lots of cycles. Say we was top out there, you would be looking at that 50-60% correction there for Bitcoin, and that would be still perfectly healthy, because that would just bring us down to some of those EMA levels on the weekly time frame there, if not the monthly. And you do want to see those, you know, you do want to see us come back down to those. So that, again, just making you aware of everything that goes on in this space, okay? Not going to drip you feeding no nonsense and keep telling you it's going to go to the moon. We always target everything in this channel, so do study that. Do study this bearish divergences and Belowski, you know what he said about it and stuff, and do take it in, okay? Because potentially, you know, you could be looking at that rollover. At the minute, Bitcoin's doing incredibly well. It really is. It's pumping. It's doing really well. The whole market's doing well. But we've also got the confluence in stuff that we're seeing things doing this, okay, on the weekly. And you know, I talk about that in the charts. We're seeing things go vertical, okay, and that is always indicative of a blow off top, okay. And you've got lots and lots of projects that have not really got any use case at the moment that are doing that, okay. So once again, I just want to exercise caution. This is what I do in this channel, is just exercise caution. Just take, you know, a step back and weigh things up. We all want it to keep going. We all want it to keep going to the moon, but you have got to be aware of the bigger picture here. And at the moment, you are potentially looking at sort of one last high and then a potential big correction there, and reset these RSI levels, get this back down there and start to form, you know, a nice sort of healthy RSI calculated with the price. If not, you could look at something like we sort of have that correction there, and then coming down, we start just going sideways, okay. We form some kind of bottom, you know, and start going sideways, and that is potentially what you'll see for Bitcoin as well. So enough rambling on, just want to make you aware, okay. So I'm just going to jump into Ethereum right now. I mean, when you look at Ethereum on the daily, okay, you have got a little bit of a divergence as well. You've actually not got a divergence on Ethereum, really. There's a little bit of one there, and you can see that that's actually already played out, to be fair, because what you've got here, okay, for Ethereum, so in my opinion, you know, Bitcoin's painting that divergence there, okay, but Ethereum is looking relatively healthy, and that could be where we're going to see that alt season, okay, you know, because what we've got, you know, as you can see, we've got the high and then the highs, and then in Ethereum you've got the low and the higher low, okay, and that sort of played out. So it rolled over, look, it rolled over because you've got the divergence, okay, so the price is going up, you see that, you've got a high, then a higher high, and then in the RSI, and on the daily time frame anyway, you've got the rollover. So effectively you had the high and then the lower high and then the rollover, the correction, okay, and Ethereum's gone through its correction. It's had its bearish divergence played out. It's had that big correction, come back down, okay, corrected, bounced off the bottom, and what it's doing now, it's actually quite, you know, it's healthy to look at the RSI there, because what you've got that high and then you've got that lower high, and then in the RSI you've got the high and the lower high. So effectively, you know, Ethereum's corrected, it's bottomed out, and now it's pushing up. So for me, you know, I did say to you, you do want to see Ethereum close above this daily daily EMA here. We've got that, and actually yesterday, you know, I did give you a trade in yesterday's video. I don't know if any of you seen it for Ethereum, but I said we were forming a kind of bull pennant on the daily time frame here, and we were looking at a pump, and it exactly pumped to the exact level. Okay, so it was basically like this, the trade that I gave you in the video there, and hopefully some of you took it on, because it was a fantastic trade, you know, from there to there, and it played out. Do you see that beautifully? So that was good. That was good. That was a good trade. Okay, and at the moment Ethereum looks really healthy. Okay, it does. It looks really good. And like I said to you, you want to see the daily close above the 20 EMA. Okay, and you may see it fall back. You may see it fall back and test this 20 EMA as confluence in a continuation in the uptrend. So that's really positive. In my opinion, Ethereum's looking really healthy. Okay, really healthy. What we'll do, we'll have a quick look at the Ethereum Bitcoin chart right now. So we're diving into the Ethereum Bitcoin chart right now, because again, you want to look at this chart to see if like Ethereum's painting some kind of reversal pattern against Bitcoin, and it does seem to be doing that. Okay, we do seem to have come down at this falling wedge, and we did break out of this falling wedge a long while ago, and we kept coming down and back testing its support, but we didn't actually fall back into it, which is good. We got the bounce off the bottom here, a couple of bounces just there, you see that? So basically effectively a double bottom. I'm on the daily time frame at the moment because it's given us more scope to see what's going on with everything, and you can see, you know, that Ethereum is actually sort of bottoming out against Bitcoin, and it's starting to turn and move up. Okay, so for me, Ethereum's looking relatively healthy now, and looking like it could be marching on. Okay, so what you've got there, you've got that big candle there that's seen as close above the 20. We're still in a downtrend, okay, because you've got the bearish cross on the EMAs on the daily time frame, and you're still basically and effectively in a downtrend until you form patterns that tell you otherwise. But this is positive. Okay, this was positive up here when Ethereum got the bounce and pushed on, and it looked like we're having that alt season. Okay, but the Bitcoin dominance was still quite high. But at the moment, Bitcoin dominance is dropping, okay, even more drastically. So that's really good in itself for that continuation of this alt season that we're all anticipating. And you've gone up, and Ethereum's closed above the 20 EMA, okay, against Bitcoin on the daily time frame. It is right now fallen under it, and that's because of Bitcoin's pump. But you know what? I'm going to call it. I'm going to call a Bitcoin pump, top end of 60k, make a new all-time high, roll over. You know, the whole market are correct, and then I think that Bitcoin potentially looking to go sideways. But that's potentially what I see. Okay, and then we'll have that little mini alt rally and things that we're anticipating, because Ethereum looks relatively healthy. Okay. So that's it. I shouldn't really call it, I shouldn't really say, but it's just my uptake on what I'm seeing in the charts. Okay, so that's basically it for Ethereum and Bitcoin today. I do hope you like that video. I'll be back again tomorrow with another video on the two. I'm just going to continue to make the other videos now. I'll catch you soon in the channel. Bye bye.